Is it worth buying the iPad mini 6th generation in 2023? I know that's a very hard question considering the year is early and we're bound for newer Apple products as the year goes on. 2021 was a long time ago, in the tech world at least, with options like the iPad Air 4th generation, the M1 iPads that get price drops now and again, plus the 10th generation iPad as well. The iPad market is pretty saturated. But considering all that, here's my thoughts on the iPad mini and why I love it so much. Just a few weeks ago, I purchased the iPad mini. The reason why I chose it over the other models was the price, to be honest. As of this recording, it's still cheaper than the M1 iPad Air. I'm of course disregarding the iPad Pros. I believe if you're considering the iPad mini, the Pro is probably just not your preference or it isn't in your budget at the moment. Here are the specs of the current iPad mini. 8.3-inch liquid retina display, an A15 Bionic chip, 4GB of RAM, 64 to 256 GB of storage depending on the model you get, a 12 megapixel main camera. Even though this iPad doesn't feature the M1 chip, it does feel fast. That's kinda given considering Apple is known for its fluid OS. Apps open quickly, note-taking is a breeze, and media consumption is just fantastic. The IPS display does get pretty bright enough to enjoy your favorite shows and much more. The screen does provide a fun reading experience for manga, I might add, and I would imagine the same is for books. I just wouldn't expect much if you're on the go constantly and you are outside constantly. 500 nits is fine, but don't expect the 600 to 1000 nits from the Pros. But like I said earlier, if the mini is in your conversation, I'm sure you're most likely aware of this and you are aware of the certain lack of that you're going to get with the iPad mini. I was surprised at how good the display really is, and watching Netflix and getting Dolby Vision on certain apps is pretty cool. The main camera isn't anything to write home about. I personally haven't even used the camera on this at all. I'm sure you guys have noticed I've taken it off my home screen, but I can imagine it'll be perfect for your FaceTime and Discord calls, and that's probably it. The speakers are great though. Listening to music or watching movies, whatever you're doing, these stereo speakers are killer, man. They really do deliver, but I can just let you hear this instead of me talking about it. So this is about half volume, I believe. So half volume, I would turn it up, but I usually don't like to put my devices at full blast, just, you never know. Type of music may not be mixed the best way, but that was half volume. One thing I love about the iPad mini is the fingerprint sensor on the lock button. I know other iPads have it, so it's not a distinct feature that is dedicated to the iPad mini, but it does bring me back to the older iPhone days, and that's always fun. Also, quick features like quick or instant note, just tapping the screen with the Apple Pencil to start writing with Apple Notes is really good. Again, it's not a distinct feature, but just stuff like this always makes me come back to the iPad. Funny enough, going off of that, the iPad has helped me tremendously in terms of my schedule and workflow. I take notes very often now. I find myself just writing more in general, not just on the iPad, but also in my mini journal that I have on my desk. I tend to have it right above my keyboard, stationed and ready for media use or note-taking. It kind of adds a third display into the mix between my MacBook Pro and my 4K monitor. You can even connect it to the MacBook and have it as a literal third monitor. I feel this would be beneficial more towards the iPad Airs in my personal opinion, just because of the larger screens. I don't have much accessories at the moment, like a case or a screen protector. I'll most likely end up getting the Folio case from Apple, but as of this video, I don't have much to recommend to you guys, so I apologize for that, except for this accessory that I do have, and it is the Apple Pencil. The 2021 iPad mini uses the 2nd generation. It connects like a beauty and it amplifies the iPad in my opinion. It is a definite must-have. The ability to take notes whenever you need, and man, it just adds an extra flair to the iPad. They both complement each other in every sense of the word. I do know it is quite expensive. There is other options like the Logitech, but I would just say spend the extra money and get the pencil because it is phenomenal when you pair these two together. The battery on this device didn't shock me. I kind of expected it. I did have to charge it pretty quickly after a good days of use. This isn't a go on a road trip with no charger type of tablet. You will need to charge it after a while, especially if you are really using it, writing notes, watching movies, listening to music constantly. Yeah, it's definitely going to be charged. I would say maybe even before the end of the day, and that was just my experience. Overall, the iPad mini is probably my favorite device at the current moment. Does the iPad Air have a larger screen? Sure. Does the iPad 10th generation offer more colors? Sure. Are the M1 and M2 iPad Pros more powerful? Sure. But that really isn't the point of the mini, and if you haven't figured it out by now, then it's probably not meant for you. But with the price tag it has, plus getting it I believe even cheaper with Apple Education for Students or even refurbished, it is a damn good tablet and I highly recommend it to anyone who is still looking for one even in 2023. Anyways, let me know what you thought of this video. Comments are welcome, and please share your opinions. Like this video and share with your friends. I will talk to you guys next time.